Hello again. So this is another speed paint. It is another chibi drawing. I think this will be my last chibi drawing in a while because I think I should move on from chibis. But I did make a baby step forward by not redrawing an official art. Instead, I kind of used one of the official arts, the miHoYo Fest art for Tears of Themis, which is another miHoYo game, and use that as a reference for the poses, while the outfits and the items that they will be holding will be based off of the icons for the Lunar New Year that came out this year. So I hope you enjoy. So I started playing Tears of Themis almost as soon as it came out. I signed up for it even before it was released in the global server. And I've enjoyed it so far, though I do wish they would be able to continue the story. I do know it's going to happen soon. I know there was a couple of hiccups because of the pandemic, so I totally understand. But even though the main story has been kind of stuck in the same place for a while, we've had a lot of events, and I've gotten to know a little bit more about the love interests with the event stories as well. I think first impressions wise, I liked Luke and Artem the most. Artem is the first one you meet because you do work with him, and so he gets a little bit of a spicy illustration the first time you see him, so you do kind of get the first impression that he is like the main love interest. But while I do sympathize with Artem and him and Rosa, which is the main character, navigating what a workplace relationship would be like, I also kind of root for Luke because Luke is a childhood friend of Rosa's. I really like childhood friends to lovers stories, just based off of my preferences when I watched K-dramas when I was younger, so definitely support Luke. While we meet Marius and Vin pretty soon as well. Vin was interesting. The very first time you meet Vin, he kind of tests you, and he's a psychiatrist, so he's good at reading people's minds. And it's pretty clear, he gets a lot of monologues, so you kind of see, at least from the player perspective, that he does have a very big crush on Rosa. But she doesn't know that yet, really. And then, a lot of players think that he gives off some red flags, and I think I kind of agree in the sense that if I met someone like him in real life, I wouldn't want anything to do with him. Maybe just in the professional sense, because he is good at psychiatry. But other than that, it's just, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with him. But it's pretty clear from the game that there is something going on in his past that influences the way he behaves. I have some theories. I think maybe he might be related to a noble family or even the royal family from the Kingdom of Svart, which is where he comes from. And he's also mixed, so there was actually a couple of scenes when women try to go with him because they think he's really good looking because of his mixed heritage, and I found that really disgusting, and he also found it very disgusting as well. So I sympathize with him in that sense. And then that leaves Marius. Marius is the only one of the four guys who's younger than the main character. Not that much younger, he's just like a few years younger. But he does call Rosa Nuna in the Korean dub, or One-san in the Japanese dub. And I think my first impression of him was kind of funny because you actually bump into him while you're on the way to an art gallery. He kind of is very playful and he teases Rosa a lot. I think the dynamic is actually pretty interesting because Rosa, when she's talking with Vin, she's always very respectful and deferential towards Vin because he is a professional. And same thing with Artem because he's a senior lawyer and she's still like not a senior attorney yet. I think she's just an attorney at this point. She hasn't taken the exam to become a senior attorney. So, but those two, she's always kind of trying to make a good impression. But with Luke, she's comfortable because he's her childhood friend. And then with Marius, since she's younger than her, even if he is a CEO of a conglomerate, she's very comfortable around him as well. So I kind of like that dynamic, and the more I got to know Marius, the better. I remember there was one event when Marius confided in Rosa about when he was bullied as a kid, and so he has claustrophobia and fear of the dark because of his experiences with bullying. And I was like, oh, yeah, he's rich and he's privileged, but at the same time doesn't mean he doesn't have his own struggles. So that was nice to get to know that. I do wish that the four guys start getting better dynamics between each other. They all have pretty healthy relationships with Rosa, but when it comes to them working together, which they do work together, they're all part of a secret organization called N2X, who is involved with investigating an illegal science research project that's going on in another company. And so Luke is there because he's actually a secret agent. So spoiler warning for the game, but this is pretty early game stuff, so I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, Luke is actually a secret agent, so that's why he's helping N2X, while the other three are just members. Marius, his brother, used to be part of it, but he's gone missing. And Artem's mentor has also been part of this organization, but he's also gone missing. So there's a lot of strife between the members because of the missing leaders. And so that was an interesting dynamic. And there's also the fact that they're kind of competitive about their relationship with Rosa. It was funny, but also not, when Vin and Artem were kind of flexing their educations. And Artem was talking about his doctorate degree, and then Vin was like, oh, well, I have 2 doctorate degrees. And so in some ways it was funny. And Luke was like, can you guys stop? Are you done yet? But I do hope that they start developing a more friendly, brotherly relationship between them, because they do have to work together and they have to group together against a common enemy. And there's other reasons why they're fighting. It's not just over Rosa. Vin and Artem have a disagreement about Artem's mentor, whether or not he is a traitor. So there's some things happening. And for Luke, I think he's the least argumentative of the 4. He gets along with all 3 of them, and there's a reason why he's not as competitive for Rosa's attention. I won't spoil that, but that is going to be revealed in Luke's personal story if you download the game and start playing. So we have the main story, the event stories, and then also the personal stories for each of the love interests. And so there's a lot of things to do in the game. I will say I am rooting for all of them at this point. I do hope that we get to know more about them. I hope Artem is able to confess at some point and not having to just rely on his friend Celestine to help him in every step of the way. And I hope that Vin is becoming more open about his past and doesn't feel the pressure to be this perfect guy, because he's not a perfect guy, and I think he needs to know that. And Marius, I hope that he's able to find his brother again, and I hope his family gets to have that closure about what happened to his brother, especially since they've already lost their mother when they were younger. So hopefully that family gets reunited. And as for Luke, I said I won't spoil, so I won't say, but I hope that the issue that he's going through gets resolved and that he is able to get the life that he dreams of having. So that's basically it. And this is also another Lunar New Year art piece. It's a bit late because it did take a lot longer for me to finish it, but I hope you guys like it. I know Vin and Luke are actually dressed as tigers to fit the theme of the new year, while Marius is dressed as a fox and Artem is dressed as a cat, I think. I was kind of on a debate of what Artem is actually dressed as a cat, as a panther. My sister kept saying it was a raccoon dog. I was like, I don't know, the tail doesn't quite fit. And I tried to figure out what to put above the 4 guys, and I decided to just keep it simple with a happy Lunar New Year from N2X. Alright, bye!